Hey guys, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to iterate through an array in JavaScript. Let's say we have an array of 8 numbers. So one of the very basic ways to iterate is by using a for loop. You can use the length property of the array to go through as many items as it contains. So that looks something like this. To select the actual value, you type the name of the variable and use the index property. So as you can see, we just iterated through all of the numbers. This is by far not the only way. And what else you can do is you can use a for of loop, which looks something like this. Let's just rewrite this for loop into a for of loop. So, and instead of the index value, you use the value of the variable is going to point to the value of the array item automatically. So I'll replace this with value. And as you can see, it's working exactly in the same way. It looks a little cleaner than the regular for loop. Another type of loop you can use on an array, because it's an iterable, is the for in loop. So in this next example, I'm going to show you the differences between of and in loop. I created this separator so we can see the result in the console. So the of loop will give you the actual values of the array. And the in loop will give you the index properties, just like a regular for loop we saw earlier. So let's say we have an object. In that object, we're going to have some properties, like a property and a function. So these properties are enumerable in JavaScript. If you use the for in loop on them, you will display those property names, those enumerable values. But if you use the for of loop on an object, it's not going to work, because the for of loop does not work with enumerable. For of loop only works with iterable types like arrays, strings, sets, and a map, for example. Another way of iterating through an array would be to use a higher order function. Higher order function like forEach or filter and stuff like that. Basically, it's a function that takes another function as one of its arguments. So here, forEach takes this arrow function item, and it's going to go through all of those values. So that's using forEach. But you can also use other higher order functions. For example, map. It's supposed to map some of the items of the array to other values. Or filter, which is supposed to filter out certain results based on the condition. There's a whole bunch of them. The sum function and the every function. There are many others, so I'm not going to go into detail on higher order functions in this tutorial. I should probably create another separate tutorial because it's a subject in its own right. In this tutorial, I just wanted to explain how to iterate through values in an array in multiple ways and give you some basic bird's eye view idea. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.